Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, I'm Miriam Dow, wife, mama for real estate investor and entrepreneur. So I have no script for this video. All right, we just about to just have a conversation. And I want y'all to tell me what y'all think in the comment section down below. But when are we just gonna dip? Like, when are we gonna just collectively just dip? This is my question because stuff is starting to get weird. How is it already Thursday? It was just Sunday. Are we in a time machine where we're just jumping times? Like, so much is going on in the world right now. So much is going on. So much is going on. I'm on TikTok. I see all these Americans moving out of the country, going to find financial freedom somewhere else. And it got me asking myself questions. Like, I see so many people saying the new American dream is to leave, which is sad, but it also has me thinking because, like, I'm grateful to be a U.S. citizen, but like with everything that I'm starting to see, I feel like it's starting to open my eyes because we were all taught to believe U.S. is the best, U.S. is above all, we're better than everyone. But then you see these other countries, because I travel a lot. I go to London where healthcare is free for all their citizens. Canada, healthcare is free for all their citizens. I spoke to some Canadians and they were like, listen, yes, it's free for all their citizens, but you go, to the doctor and you're getting an appointment, so far away. Now, if I need an appointment with my private insurance, that appointment is going to be within a week. I mean, sometimes depending on the doctor, but so there's pros and cons, and I get that. In Europe, people have a year maternity leave. I used to work for Mercedes-Benz, the only company-owned stores. Our headquarters was in, Germany, and there, their citizens get 2 years, I believe 12 months, 1 to 2 years of maternity leave, and that wasn't the case for me. So it's just like, you start to look at all these things, and as a mom, you start to look at things differently. Like, do we need to start an exit plan? I already told you about my experiences about the way the taxes is jumping up for my properties. Shit is not making sense. It's like, you charging me all this tax. My mortgage payment on one of my rental properties went up $478 because of the taxes, okay? And then the insurance goes up. So it's like the taxes and insurance. You are charging me all this money for the taxes, right? I feel like I get half of my check because of the taxes, all the federal taxes and Social Security. By the time I retire, is Social Security even going to be a thing? Like, there's this website, and you can look into it, but the U.S. is in trillions of debt. And I'm just like, this is just a thought dump, all right? No script, no nothing. I just the thoughts that are literally going through my head. Like, is going to college a scam? I went to college, worked my ass off. When I say worked my ass off, and I saw like how much each credit was costing my parents, how much my mom put me in a private college. And at the time, I graduated in 2011. It was like $30,000 a year, and she was paying for cash. So there was only one class that I had to take twice, but I was taking 6 classes a semester. So anyone knows, 18 credits a semester is crazy. 18 credits. It was 1 year where I only had classes Monday through Wednesday because I jammed the classes together. It was like I took the 90-minute classes. It was just 6 classes a year. Like, I was not playing. I was graduating from that school, and I graduated in 4 years with a 3.2 GPA that I'm very proud of, a bachelor's in business administration, and then I studied abroad in Paris for a semester, which I really love. I went to the American Business School. I forgot. It was in the city of Paris. So it's like, I went through all that, graduated in 2011. And I'm like, about to get a job, start making this money. That was not the case. Could not find a job. So I'm African. My community, they own their own businesses. The majority of the men are driving taxis. A lot of the females are nurses. And then the entrepreneur females, like my mom, they have their hair salon. They have their boutiques. Some of them have restaurants. So I wasn't in a family or a community where, you know, my mom could just call one of her friends that worked at a bank and get me a job, or I had to really grind. So it's like I couldn't find a job for months. So September, I graduated in May. September, my husband, I started to lose my mind, because it's like I set goals. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start making my money, da 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 da. I didn't know nothing about investing now. I was reading books, but it wasn't like the books I'm reading now. So I was reading like Girl Boss, books like that. And I read this book by Trump because I just really loved the way he, has structured his business. And I was just, those are the role models I had back in 2011. So I was a hostess at a restaurant, Macelleria, in the meatpacking district. And then from there, I was still handing out resumes. And the owner of the restaurant really loved me. So it's like sometimes he would have me come downstairs, work on Excel spreadsheets for him, go to Apple Store, get devices for the restaurant. So like he didn't really treat me as a hostess. Like he really adored me, and I adored him too. He was an older guy. And I worked there for a few months, and then I went to a temp agency. They got me a job at this company, I forgot, but it reminded me of Amazon. But as soon as I started working there, you're a temp for 90 days. They gave me a Mac laptop, so I thought that was crazy. I'm 21. I had my own Mac. So it's like I got 2 Mac laptops, and it was customer service. So people would call and be like, oh, I received this and it was broken. So I would like issue a refund and stuff like that. So I was doing that, and I loved it because the company culture, they had every single day of the week, they were giving us food. So they was giving us it would be soul food Fridays, and we had soul food. So they literally gave us food, right? Every day of the week. Now, I didn't know how good that was back then. Cause think about the amount of money we spent on food and stuff like that. So companies who are really doing this, and the culture it was really nice. And I can't even remember the name of the company. But I worked there for a while, and people were dropping like flies because we came in as a group from different temp agencies, I think, or the same. But if you wasn't doing things correctly, they started to drop you. So I was doing really good there. But then like on my days off, me and my husband, we were still giving out my resumes. And I remember going on 11th Avenue and dressed really nice, had my long weave, and I had, business attire, my trench coat, Burberry bag. I had a nice Burberry bag at the time, and I was just going to dealerships, dropping off my resume. I walked into Mercedes-Benz, dropped off my resume to what would then be my manager. So she really liked the way I presented myself. She talked to me for a few minutes, and then they called me months later and hired me as a receptionist. I have a bachelor's degree. So people that were my boss didn't even have the qualifications I had. And it's like now, I don't really know if I'm gonna recommend my kids going to college. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, because I have newer graduates in my family graduating and they can't find a job. So it's like, why go to college when you're 17, 18, graduate when you're 21? Why not use those years to start doing your own businesses? Because you're gonna fail, but the more you fail, the closer you're getting to that successful business, that business that's really gonna take off. I can't ignore the 18-year-old millionaires I see and the 20-year-old millionaires and the Iman Ghazis of the world. And this man is in his 20s and he's a millionaire, multi-millionaire. And why is that? Because he didn't do certain things. He dropped out of high school. He didn't go to college. So it's like when you start earlier, you get ahead faster. So it's like, am I really gonna sit here and tell my kids go to college? No, because the things that I'm learning now is things that I just learned on my own, or that my family members that are entrepreneurs taught me. And it's like, I'm sitting here making these videos telling you to invest, but I can't ignore how hard it is. Because as a mom of 4, yes, this is a 2-family household. And between me and my husband, we have 4 sources of income. We have 4 sources of income between the 2 of us. We're still able to live comfortable, but the pressure is there, okay? The groceries are expensive. The dining is expensive. The kids' activities is expensive. So now I'm starting to think do I just move out of the US I have a dual citizenship. So these are thoughts that I'm really having, and I'm starting to see there's other people that are thinking the same way or even doing it. I'm seeing so many families move to Portugal, and especially digital nomads, you know, people who work remote like me, they're moving out of the country, they're moving to Mexico, and you know, they're thriving because they're earning US currency, but they're living in a country where the cost of living is cheaper. These are real thoughts and conversations that me and my husband is having. So I'm always going to keep you guys in the loop, but I want to see, like, what are your thoughts? Because you can invest in real estate anywhere. You know, it doesn't have to just be the US. Now, I still believe, like, I see other people. There's this other guy that I follow. I think his name is Richard, and him and his wife and their 2 kids, they just travel the world and they homeschool their kids. I think they homeschool their kids over like the computer. And that's not something that I'm against. I have a tutor for my daughter, and she has a tutor, a virtual tutor, twice a week, and it's been going great with the tutor, and it's really helped improved her reading. She needed, you know, help with that, and now she's like advanced. So it's not something that, like, I'm never one to just follow the rules or just stick to what the fuck. I'm one to adapt. So, like, some crazy thoughts are going to my head about what I want to do, but I also have to keep in mind, like, I have small children. But then on the other hand, it's like, when you move out of the country and you have small kids, the younger they are, the better for them to adapt. And I'm thinking about doing some, like, live here for a year, then live here for a year. The countries, like, I've been looking into, literally, I've been even speaking to schools. They have international schools where the academic is still in English. And, like, I'm not really pressing much. I gave my son Rich Dad Poor Dad. He's 10. He's reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. This is something that I wasn't exposed to until after I bought my first property at 26. I'm giving that to him at 10. I got my little sister to invest in her first rental property at 24. She's managing the duplex full on. So it's like, it's really hard to unlearn the system that they created. You know, you make them go to school, then you make them go to college. I don't feel like I really learned nothing in college. I'm grateful for the experience. I went to an all-girl Catholic school. A Muslim girl went to an all-girl Catholic school. My mother was not. My mother was very strict. That degree, I don't know if that degree did anything for me, because all the jobs that I got since graduating had nothing to do with my degree. But the degree didn't give me shit. It's who you know. It's not what you know. It's who you know. So it's like, I'm not trying to set my kids up from failure. My parents didn't know any better. I'm grateful. They brought us here. I was literally 6 months when I came to the U.S. I'm a U.S. citizen. I'm bilingual, you know, I'm dual citizenship with Mali, the country that I was born in. But it's like, I don't want to steer you guys wrong either. I don't want to keep telling you, invest in this. This is how you're going to get financial freedom when I'm having these thoughts in my head, because it's like, it's easier for the me's who bought properties over 5 years ago, you know, or before 2020, to be honest. It's easier for the people who bought properties pre-pandemic, because we have that equity that was built in. And with everything that's going on, it doesn't really affect us too much because we have the equity that's built in that we can always rely on. Like, I could go right now and pull a HELOC out on any one of my 4 properties and use that to help me, you know, do something else. So it's like, these thoughts are really going through my head, and then I have to think about the safety. Yo, I don't feel safe. I really don't. I am paranoid. My son is 10 years old and he's 5'2". I'm 5'7". His feet is bigger than mine. So he's about to go to middle school next year. These are thoughts that I'm having. He's not going to be across the street anymore. I'm going to have to be, you know, dropping him off at middle school, and there's going to be days where he's probably going to be walking home. And living in a neighborhood where we are the minority, and not only that, not only is he black, he's a black boy. This is a reality, okay, that I need to have with myself. He's a black boy. He doesn't look his age. So oftentimes I have to remind people or tell people, no, he's actually 10. He might look like he's 13, but he's not. So treat him like he's 10, because his maturity levels matches his age. not what you believe it to be. And I see, you know, the situations with the police officers and the kids. These are real thoughts that I'm having. Then the school shootings. Every time there's a school shooting around the country, then I'll see, you know, police officers parked out of my kids' elementary school. I don't watch the news. I try not to watch news, but like, these are real thoughts that I'm having. Like, I don't feel safe. Paranoid as fuck to send my kids to school because a nut job might just want to go and do whatever. I had a cousin, you know, she lives in the Bronx, and she got an email from the school saying that there might be like a gunman on scene or something like that. And, you know, they're going to do everything to keep it under control, but for parents not to come to school, something crazy. Imagine getting that kind of notification on your phone. Your body is going to go numb. So apparently some boy that went to the school or didn't go to the school, I don't think he went there. He was going to the school with a gun, and his mother called the school to let them know that my son just left. He said he's coming to the school with the gun. And so they were kind of prepared for him. So as soon as he walked in, they were able to detain him when he had no idea. They were able to detain him because his mom called ahead of time. So it's like, what if she didn't call? What if she didn't know? Like, it felt so close to home. This is my blood cousin, like, and this is a school where my nephews go to that are 5 and 6. Yo. So it's like, we can't just sit here oblivious. And like, these are real thoughts that I'm having with myself. And I'm not one to just sit here because my family is here, my parents is here. No, I've always been the leader of the pack. So your girl might be moving out of the country, y'all, like dead ass. So tell me, what are your thoughts? Are you having similar thoughts? Like, what are your thoughts on your kids going to college? What are your thoughts on like the fact that, you know, all these layoffs we're seeing? What are your thoughts on moving out of the country, starting a whole new life out of the country? Especially if you're a digital nomad and you can work from anywhere in the world. I mean, the time difference might be a kickoff, but honestly, the benefits of the benefits might for real outweigh the pros. But yeah, those are the thoughts that I'm having. I'm really interested in investing out of the country anyway. How cool would it be if I can, you know, document that, you know, living out of the country, investing out of the country, and documenting my journey with my family, turning my primary into a rental, using that income, you know, that US dollar currency income in a country where the US dollar goes such a long way. These are the thoughts that I'm having that are weighing me down. So tell me what you think. Am I losing my mind? Because if you guys watch my channel, then we watch the same kind of stuff, and I feel like we're having the same kind of thoughts. Or, because I know I'm not bugging. Because I can't really have these conversations with people that are in my circle because they're looking at me like I'm speaking Mandarin. Okay, I'm speaking English. Or like I'm talking to people and they're like, yes, it's so expensive. Oh my God. And they complaining. Okay, now what is the solution? Because I'm a solution type of person. Let's get to the solution. So what you gonna do about it? You trying to move with me? Like, you wanna be out? We could do this journey together. What kind of thoughts are you guys having? Because everything that's going on, you know, all the immigrants coming in. I know some of the immigrants that came in, okay? So I understand they're coming from countries that are not, you know, the best, and they feel like America is the answer, okay? America in the 90s, when my parents came, is not the same America. The opportunities are not the same. You know, you have full-bred Americans that can't get a job, that are struggling, that can't pay for their living expenses. And that's another thing. It's like, I'm so terrified of making my rental properties long-term rentals. Like, I want to give back to the community and charge a decent amount. I'm not trying to trying to charge crazy prices. Charge a decent amount for rent. But then again, on the other side, it's like, I'm not trying to get fucked over. I don't want you to come to my rental property and you know, you lose your job, or because when people are under pressure, they pay for that light bill because they need the lights to stay on. They pay for the groceries because they need to eat. The last thing they think about is their rent. They pay for that car insurance because they're not trying to go to jail. They're not trying to get pulled over. They pay for the car because they're not trying to get a repo. They don't pay for their rent because that is the longest process of eviction process. And unfortunately, my properties are not in landlord friendly states. Like New Jersey is not a landlord friendly state. I mean, I've heard other people say, "Oh, it's not that bad. You can get an eviction process started as fast." I'm not trying to deal with that. I'm really trying to make passive income. When I say passive income, I'm trying to set the stuff up, and like I'm not trying to deal on that. I'm not really. Y'all, what do y'all think? Am I bugging? Like, let's have a real conversation in the comment section. Y'all see me responding, I respond. Do y'all want me to document that journey? Is that something that you guys would be interested in? Because 9 times out of 10, once I start speaking of something, I've already been thinking about this since December. I've been thinking long. This has been presented to me since 2022, and I didn't take it seriously. But December is when I started to take shit seriously. And I started to just like see like what's going on? What are we high on here? Like, is it really that much better? Like, you see people go to Europe, and even though Europe might be expensive and all that stuff, the quality of life is better because there's such a better balance with you know, work and life balance. So y'all want to see me, would you guys want me to document that journey on this channel? I think his name is Richard Garcia. Like, I follow him on Instagram, and I just love his content because he's telling you how to create, you know, offshore accounts in countries where it's good to create offshore accounts. Like in Dubai, I was looking at how you can become a resident through real estate, how you can get your residency through real estate. It's really hard to become a UAE citizen. Like, they're not giving that to you, but you can get certain different kind of residencies, like gold or silver, I forgot the names, but you can get different kind of residencies depending on if you go create a company there or if you invest in real estate. And the best part about it is they don't have tax. They just implemented a 7% corporate tax, but they don't have tax like we do here. So all the money you make there is actually yours. Now, as a US citizen, keep in mind, because I've been doing my research, no matter where you go in the world, you still have to pay taxes. The only way you don't pay taxes as a US citizen is actually if you relinquish your citizenship. So you literally have to hand your passport in and say, hey, I no longer want to be a US citizen, which I think is a really dumb idea. You want to have this passport because you want to go where you want to go. And if it doesn't work out, you want to be able to come back. Okay? But we need to start thinking smart. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm just expressing my thoughts out loud. Tell me what you think in the comment section. I'm rooting for you.